Hello and welcome to this short video and quite informal video about how to use our visualization. As you know, we have worked with Unity, and this just should act as kind of a primer how to navigate in the visualization. By now, you should have already created or instantiated all the different scripts here on the right side. Basically, what you need to do is to move the cloud texture that you have created into this slot, the noise texture into this slot, and last but not least, the vector field texture into this slot. Everything else has decent default values, but of course you could also play with those. Well, let's jump right in. To start the simulation, you would press the start button here. And now you are in a kind of game-like view where you can, first of all, just navigate and float over Germany. Now you might be asking, okay, that's not very impressive. Where are the visualizations? And for this, I ask you to press H, and this will actually prompt some tips how to use the tool. And as you can see in the second kind of row, we can see that there are different views that we can toggle. So let's go ahead and actually press one of these numbers. Let's go one by one. So the first one is specific cloud ice content. When we press this, we can see that we have a raycasted rendering of the specific ice content. And as you can see, the frame rate is dropping quite drastically. Although it is a bit better than in the intermediate presentation, we still make you aware of the fact that even with single scattering and not too many steps against the sun, the simulation is still quite laggy sometimes. Now we also can visualize the specific cloud water content, which is perhaps the more visible clouds. Yes, we also invite you to explore more. I actually think it looks quite realistic. And when you actually zoom into certain formations, you will see that the frame rate is not as bad. So next up, what do we have? Now we have also the rain mixing ratio, which is also displayed as a scalar field with ray traced rendering. And I'm just toggling these different views by pressing these numbers. And now we are actually going to toggle this off, each of these. Also notice that we can toggle multiple of these visualizations at the same time. So for example, I could want to visualize the specific cloud ice content and also at the same time the rain mixing ratio. So now we would actually see rain and ice content at the same time, and I can also disable them one by one by just pressing the number that they correspond to. Now we come to something a bit more special, which would also require us to navigate out of this view. What we will do is press number 4, which will spawn the Streamline Visualization. And here we ask you to actually go into Scene View, because there are quite some issues right now with the navigation. I'm going to show you exactly what happens if we are actually going into normal game view. And you can see that the streamlines are directly displayed in front of the camera view, which is not very helpful. So what is perhaps more helpful is to go into scene view and look at it like this. Now, when you are in scene view, it often helps to straighten out the camera by modifying the rotation here. You can see that sometimes there are certain artifacts still appearing. For a better visual effect, I will actually now modify the streamline density and the streamline length by actually double clicking on this template here and choosing 1024 steps for the streamline visualization. Now, when we are entering the visualization again, which takes a bit of time, we toggle the streamlines, we go into scene view, and then we can actually again realign the camera such that we have a better slice to display. And now we can move the camera over Germany, and you can see that streamlines are displayed in real time. You can also modify the height, which is also quite interesting to see the flow close to the ground, which is way more turbulent than uh, the flow that is farther away. And also what we can see here nicely is a good separation between the bottom flow and more flows that are farther apart of the ground. This concludes the vector field. And last but not least, we want to actually look at the isosurfaces and isolines. And for this, you toggle 5, and you might be surprised there's nothing happening. What you need to do now is to actually modify the ISO value with the characters J and K. You can also see this in the hint. So now, when we are actually increasing the ISO value, decreasing the ISO value, of course, you can see that we get these isosurfaces that are also color coded by the information they display. So blue is actually water, while white would be ice and red would be rainfall. And we can play with these letters J and K and decrease and increase them as you wish. When we zoom out, performance will take quite a hit, but I'm doing it anyway just for the nice panorama. And you can see that this is fully interactive here. Good. We can also use the letter M to change the type of information that is displayed with the isosurfaces. Exactly. Thank you for your attention. If there are any problems or you don't find you find things not working as expected, of course, inform us, and we wish you good luck and have fun with our implementation.